Hi, it's Jennifer, and I'm back here at CollinsonTV on the first full day of Connect Marketplace, and I'm here with our first General Session speaker among our powerhouse lineup of all women General Session speakers. And Alison, you already spoke on the work that you did for women in Uganda, and so many of our meeting planners are women. What advice can you give them from what you learned and your incredible career that they can use to advance their careers?
Well, I think my experience in Uganda of taking the first local women up to climb in the Ruwenzori Mountains was impactful because women had never been allowed in the mountains prior to that. So I think the advice I would tell these meeting planners to think about is just because something's always been done a certain way for years and years and years doesn't mean it's the best way to do things today or the best way to do things moving forward. And I think the only way that progress happens is when people ask a lot of questions. And so I think that you can't get stuck in that mindset of, oh, this is the way it's always been done, because nowadays, budgets are being cut, resources are much more scarce, and people have to find new and creative way to do things. And so you got to stop thinking about the way you always used to do things and think of a new, better, more effective, more efficient way to do things going forward.
Well, that clearly is not just for women. Anyone can take that advice for meeting planning. And you have told us so much about the challenges you faced climbing Mount Everest and the other 6 peaks in the world. But some planners might look at that and say that planning their meeting is challenging, but it's not Mount Everest. But what takeaways can they take from what you've said about the challenges that they do face in planning their meetings?
So I think there's 3 main takeaways that I think are really applicable to meeting planners. The first I kind of touched on, but it's asking questions. The only way you're going to get the information you really need is by being proactive and asking questions. And it's always going to be easier for someone to tell you no than to help you find a solution to something. So again, you have to be proactive, creative, keep asking questions until you get the information that you need. The other thing I think that's super important is forming partnerships with people. I mean, collaboration is going to be much more efficient than just trying to work as a solo planner. So make sure you form partnerships. Ask people for help. People will be willing to help you out if you have good partnerships and good relationships. And I think the last piece of advice I would offer is to definitely make sure that you act and react based on whatever situation you've got going at the time and not based on some plan that you came up with. Your plan may have been put into place last year, last week, last month. Even if your plan was created that day, plans are outdated really quickly. As soon as they're done, it's outdated. So you have to be able to focus much more on executing rather than on planning.
Well, thank you so much for your inspirational talk today. And we'll be asking all of the rest of our speakers more questions about what they'll be speaking about the rest of the conference here at CollinsonTV at youtube.com/.